Good morning. This is Simon with Trading Perform Coaching, doing the market preview, just doing a live trading session, mostly for my own benefit, so I can go back and review it for the 9th of April. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Please do not follow me blindly. This is my trade plan. I'm sharing it with you. If you'd like to learn it, I'm happy to teach it to you. However, following me blindly is a horrible, horrible idea. You should learn to trade for yourself and know which setups work well for you, where you're willing to lose money in exchange for the opportunity to make money. Let's see. Trading futures can be a very expensive adventure. And let's see if there's anything else I want to say. Oh, make sure you're qualified. Make sure you have a risk management plan. You'll take a minute to read that. If you'd like, there you go. I flashed it up. You can pause it, read it. That's that. Gone. And we can get to work. So we're in between two anomalies. Oh, really? How did I get that to do that? Okay. So to give a quick picture of where we are, CL. These are the charts I post to members. Prior day's high, prior day's lows way down here. One time into the upside, buyers are in overall control. And this thing's shown no interest in doing anything but consolidating and moving higher, right? Shorts have been challenging there, but doable, right? ES, buyers are in control. We've gapped down, no open drive lower. We're caught between two anomalies inside prior day's range, right? We're just balancing out is all we're doing. We have to get underneath that 75.90 to come down and explore the lower areas of price, or expect this white zone to get tested at a minimum, right? And then ES, again, we're actually underneath prior day's low in ES, right? There's a weak set of anomalies through here, but they're holding, and you can see it's just a chop fest in here. I don't want to be overly active. We've gapped down. The only distinction here is yesterday we rolled down, and about this time we were already making a concerted effort to push back up. Obviously, if this swing low breaks, the context on this changes pretty significantly, right? And this is a hard place to trade on NQ, just FYI. Again, you can see on CL, see how this was a pretty strong concerted effort. All I'd want to see is a bar close above and not close back in. I'd be willing to take that 2 times, because the reward would be a break at the high and a push back up, right? So I'm not that eager to short CL yet. And you can see every roll down, if you're just not covering aggressively, is getting bought. That's all there is to it. For those on YouTube, all these little colors actually mean something. They're all fired by various algorithms. And stick with me. It'll make sense. We're looking for very specific setups to get long and short. And obviously, in the current environment, long is better than short. Short can be very, very painful right now. So that's it. That's all the commentary. I didn't even post the link anywhere that the room is open. This is pretty much for my benefit, so I can go back and review, and the members' benefit, so we can go back and review what happened. So any questions or observations, guys? Around 76.22 if it gets there. Daniel, I don't have anything there at 76.22. What do you have? 100% extension? Can you give a reason why? Okay, you're looking for 100. Can you put a picture of that, please? The only distinction here is the market's actually having a hard time today pushing, right? So see how if we close underneath this right here, guys, this shove up, right? So if I draw a line underneath here and I want to be short, right? So see how that triggered, but the only and my stop goes above here. The only problem is everyone knows I've got support sitting right here. So where's the trade going to go, right? And so that's how you have to make that distinction. That's how you get away from this being in the weeds and let the trade set up for you, right? So see here how we're trying to get the point of control over here to the left. See on these, it was 1, 2, 3. That was the highest bar, right? So if I can get a point of control above this, right, and I don't get back underneath, that should push on CL, right? So what's the disadvantage? So the stop is pretty much 11 cents, maybe 12 cents on that, right? Because why do I want an 11-cent stop? Because guess what? I just shoved up, and if I close underneath it, it would produce another short to the downside, right? but I want to see a point of control close above 64.13. Then my target would be the 64.39 to 64.44 would be the target up, right? And it's not unusual to break these, get a push down, an immediate response down, and then a push back up. Thanks, Daniel. So Daniel uses the 100% extensions, and I've given him really good location on multiple occasions. See why I didn't want to short this? That's normal. Now see this right here? So we just about to close this, right? But again, why do I not want to go along this? Right on top of an anomaly, right? Off my 5 minute. I don't want to be in those areas. So I'm looking for a green bar, positive bar with a point of control above, stop about 5 ticks behind that 64.08, more or less. And I'll attempt that because they tried really hard, right? It's just got to close. So it would be six, and I don't want it to be a hammer. See how this is going to turn into a hammer? I don't want that. I want it to actually be a green bar. So I'm going to skip on this right here. I want it to be a solid bar. It's still valid and it may go. I don't care. And you can still use it if you want. It is a valid point of control above, and it may just rocket right out of there. But these fail a lot, right? So I'm willing to pass on them. Back up into resistance. And we are in a chop fest, guys. Notice the pace is slowed way down. So see this right here? This just been a bar that looked like this. Insta long for me. Okay, we've gotten above they made a serious attempt to sell here, right? And this should do what it's doing. I just didn't like the bar that formed. And so I have a lot of requirements. If you think about it from the perspective of how do poker players trade or pro poker traders play, they fold a lot, right? They skip 70% of their hands. They fold, right? And good poker players even fold pocket aces sometimes, right? So I'm just waiting for everything to line up. We knew down here, right, that buy shift up and this speed bar shift up. Those are both very good long signals, right? And technically what I could have done, so to look at it from another perspective, see how they try to reject here with the speed bar, guys? As soon as they closed above it, I could have used this as my entry. Maybe should have. I could have used a 63.91 entry and put a stop at 63.85 for a 7-tick stop and captured that move to the upside and this continuation move to the upside. So it'll come together and we'll get all the pieces. NQ and ES are NQ's in a hellified chop area. Now I wouldn't want to trade in any of this, and I won't. Derek, did the reasoning make sense to you based on where we covered our coaching? I don't know if you can hear me still. I know you're at work, so I don't know if you can respond. But did this all make sense based on what we covered this weekend? Now, here's the opposite side of this story. See how they're trying to squeeze above now, right? So they're trying to squeeze above. And notice you've gotten above your biggest down wave. See how hard they pushed there? So all these guys are left to short. So where do I want to short, right? If I'm not trapped back in here and underneath this guy, right, back underneath 64.13, I don't want to short unless I'm way up here because I know, right, look at that picture. I know that someone just put the biggest effort into the downside, right? Look at that, where that lines up on that delta wave. That's the biggest effort down since this right here. And if you had shorted that, look where you ended up at. With it pushed all the way back up to a new high. They put another huge effort down. They're back above it. I would think back up here would be pretty normal, right? It's real. That's really the hard part. Derek said, yeah, but the just need to practice the setups. It's really the freaking hard part, is getting it mentally down and getting it with the pace and the rhythm, and then making it align with the 5-minute chart. That's really, or the daily chart, however you want to look at that. And then you also know, right, from just the general consensus in the market. So see NQ now, if you're looking to short, look how it's starting to develop on the 5-minute. See this? What's that? Grind up. That's not a fast market. That's a pain market for shorting. You never can get the extension down. See how we can't get underneath the last 5-minute bars, right? Even when they did, they snapped it right back up, right? You don't want to be short that environment. When you're short, right, you want the presence of sellers. This doesn't apply to CL because CL can move fast enough for you to get a scale. You want the presence of sellers. We're totally lacking the presence of sellers. So like right now on ES, if I get this sell bar right here, ooh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was back. I see that bar right there? That is a high odds setup for me. So if I take that, which I will, so I'm going to short 28.86, right? If I can get to it. I shorted 28.86, right? And I usually want to use a 5-point stop. So 86 brings up 91 as my stop, right? So I'm going to just use it. I'm short 28.86. Here, I can actually type that out. Short, reduce size, 3/4, 28.86 or 28.91 stop. Oops. Copy, general, paste. Okay, so I'm short 28.86, 3/4 size, 28.86 for 28.91 stop, right? Why? That's one of my best bars that I can have, and I have a very high win rate. Now what I got to figure out is, do I want to cover for 1 point, 2 points, or 5 points? Normally I want to get 5 points at least, right? I got a 5-point RR. And then what's my challenges? My challenge here is, and I'm in the trade, right? I see that they tried to push down here and failed. We're trapping back in, and I know that they're going to want to test this value area low from yesterday, right? And so now I'm going to have to trust between the algo, right, and the chart and the upness and figure out which one I want to do. So just like see now here, we're into the anomaly, and if I wanted to bet that we were going to go lower on NQ, right? So see how I got the shove up right here, and we're in the anomaly. I know it's rejection. I get the speed bar. So now if I can close right underneath this, right? Now I need a point of control underneath. Stop. Now, do I really want to put my stop here? No, I want it behind, right? I want it behind the 76.17 because I know that's an anomaly through there. So I'm going to put it 76.18 1/4, right? So I'll have a little bit bigger stop here than I normally would. It'll probably end up being an 08, 09 stop for 10 points instead of 6 or 7 points. But I'm willing to take it if I can get underneath this, right? That would be my requirement. And if it doesn't happen here, it'll happen somewhere along the line, right? So I know I might get stopped here, but that is a high odds signal, right? And really what I'm going to end up doing is scaling 2 points because that's about what I've been getting, and it'll put me onto the backside test of this 84 1/4. So that's where I plan to scale this. And if I get stopped, I understand that I shorted into the current conditions, and the current conditions are slow grind up, and that's a harder trade, right? That's my 2 cents. But that's a high odds. When you get the sell and the speed bar, it's pretty high odds setup. As a matter of fact, I can tell you we haven't not gotten to profitability yet on that setup. It was just a question of whether we could get to 5 points. And that goes to the current environment. So now see how I'm getting this shove up? If this prints and then closes underneath, perfect. Out of the anomaly. And why is that perfect? Because now I can short, let's say it'll end up being 76.10, 12, back to 7,600, right? And I have a way of making that trade work, okay? So this is good. I'm glad they're pushing up, right? They're obviously trying to come in for gap fill. If you look on the 5-minute. I've got a trend line there now. A trend line here. And see how now CL's gone far enough where if I get underneath this guy right here, point of control underneath, and I put a stop up here, I have pretty good range for a push back the other way. All right, so let me erase this. Okay, so if I close underneath this, I will be short NQ. I'll point it out where it triggers. I have to make that big. So the trigger will be 76.12 and a quarter. I'm going to go ahead and put that in. Shorting 76.12 quarter. The stop is going to be 76.19 for 7 points, assuming it triggers, and it may not, right? I got to get underneath this on a red bar, right, with the point of control down. Where is my frickin', oh, there it is. Range bar predictor. Oh, it's right on this line. It's 76.13 now. So you can move that trigger up to 76.12.75 will be the trigger. Short 76.12.75. Stop 19. And you can already scale that if you want to go fast. I'm not. Okay. So I am short, right? And I don't want to see it, right? I know that it doesn't go in a straight line, right? I just don't want a long signal on this. I want it to fall away. But my stop, either way, goes over here. And I should have covered it for that first 4 or 5 points, and I didn't. I'm all right either way, no matter what it does, right? So if I get a long signal, right, I'll flip. Well, I won't flip it around here, but I want to give the example. And where should it go? We should end up right back over here if logic holds, right? And if you don't, again, if the trade goes too fast, I'll keep setting them up, right? I need to get underneath this bar in CL and ES. You now have a magic whopping point on that trade, 26.85. We've been having a hard time getting more than a 1 or 2 point extension on ES, so just be aware. And if this fires, right, it's going to have to flip around and go the other way, but this is an anomaly. I just don't, where do I not want it over? I don't want a point of control over this bar because it would trigger a long now. See how it's all interweaving? I probably should have just taken my 5 points. The problem is the short. So we'll go from there. NQ is only down 12 points now. Again, you can flat that ES if you want because it didn't extend very far. And I'm going to get stopped on that almost certainly on that 19. Just FYI, that is a long signal with a speed bar. Just so you know, it looks like they're going to run me over. And that's done. Okay, so I had to take it quick. And that's the risk of shorting NQ in this particular market. And I'm totally fine with that. And I will take that again if it sets up. Again, I have to get underneath this right here. That kind of sucks that they stop me like that. But that's part of the business. And again, go reference back to the 5-minute chart. Okay, so you understand where I'm taking these trades and why. Look what the chart's doing on the 5. You've got to know if you're comfortable taking that chart. I should have taken that 5 points and gone blisteringly fast. I thought we can come back and retrace this. But look at the 5-minute PA, right? Really pretty freaking hard, right? It's not going up fast. It's not going down fast. And it's folding over one bar over the other, right? Looks like they're trying to push for that gap fill still on NQ. And again, this is the same PA we had yesterday. Grind, 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 go. By the way, that's buy, shift up on NQ, on ES. I will close that position if that bar prints, which it's about to. Just FYI. Damn, close 28.80. Well, wait a minute, backed off. 87.50 stop now on ES. It's going to hit. That's a good long signal. Sorry, guys. It's chop. I don't know what else to tell you. Stopped. The short has just been, we're right back to yesterday's PA. Truly ridiculous. You can't get more than a point extension on ES right now on the shorts. Maybe two. We're just going to have to wait till the temperature, till the fever breaks, guys. Just people want to buy it. It's effectively QE. So we may have had all the trades we're going to have for the morning. If it goes what it does yesterday morning, it'll be very difficult. The stop, I wasn't worried about ES. Here, I got to push that up. Closed. And if I get NQ, I'll try NQ one more time underneath here, guys. If I get underneath this bar, try it once more. Again, realize what I'm trying it into so y'all know and understand. Y'all don't have to follow me blindly, right? Look at the PA. Look at the PA, right? We can do it again all day freaking long, and it can be frustrating as shit. Look at the bars. Small, 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 big, smaller, 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 smaller. We're going to need to see an expansion in the size of the 5-minute rotation to really get paid. Otherwise, we're just fighting this. So see this close underneath here? Push down, close underneath your last push up right here. See how they're not getting the point of control underneath? But they get the point of control underneath. That's a short with about 11 cent stop. I don't like that bar, but that is a valid setup. Stop goes up over here. Okay, so just stay with me and we'll get it. I'm not taking that right now because I'm not sure that we have any energy to the downside. I want to see it actually come back in and be willing to sell it. Oh, and you wanted the 22 cents, didn't you, Daniel? Daniel wanted that 22. So, Daniel, there you go. If you get underneath this, I will short this with a close underneath this bar, guys. So I'm going to be short again, same area, 76.0950. Stop 76.18 and a quarter. Okay. You don't have to follow me on the trade. It's got a trigger. Okay. This is not printed yet. There's nothing to do. That did not print. Again, that was a valid short. I didn't take it. I'm not certain of the roll to the downside. The trigger, we need the pointy control underneath here. So that's tricky now. I'll have to wait till the last second and see if they shift the pointy control underneath or not. That's a red speed bar, however. Okay, there's the pointy control. I'll be short 76, 10, 75. Short. Stop. 18 quarter. Okay, now again, remember, they've been snapping it right back up, right? So I'm going to have to get them to break it away and roll it down. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to scale 76.05 and a quarter. They'll give it to me. Done. 76.05 and a quarter. 76.05 and a quarter done. You can move your stop to break even now if you'd like. Okay, and that's exactly how that's supposed to work, which pays for the stops, right? Now I want the trailer to really extend down, and I can know that I don't want to close above this bar now, right? I want to hold underneath. My target down, 7,600 is 75.92 on the trailer. Okay. There went CL. I should have taken that as well. ES got underneath the last push up. Roll down. What's the challenge? We're falling right back into these support areas again, right? It takes a little bit of work to get these guys to sell this thing, okay? But I promise you it works. You just have to be flexible enough to come in and out of the trade repeatedly. And like I said, the signals, I'll get them a lot clearer as I'm able to refine them so they're just, instead of a bunch of arrows and colors and all this, I'm working on thinking through that process. But this was the first thing that had to be done. Take my next scale at 7,600 because I haven't been taking my 10 points. And you need to decide whether you want to bring your stop to break even, leave it back here, what you want to do. Again, on the 5-minute chart, nothing's happened yet, right? All we've done is gotten a 5-minute bar underneath the prior 5-minute bar, and it hasn't even closed. That was a nice trade on CL. Shame on me for not taking that. Again, 7,600 a quarter, flat on the, not flat, but I'll be down to a quarter size trade. That'll be my next scale right there. And then I'll move stop to break even. That's my target right there. Need 2 more points. Again, manage the risk to your according to your own needs. Two more ticks. Nope, I didn't get filled. I don't know why. It traded through, right? It traded to the tick. That sucks. Scaling 76.02. I didn't get filled, guys. I'm open. So 76.02 and I'm down to a quarter size, moving the stop to break even. I missed it. I don't know what else to say. It went right to it with no fill. Did anyone else get filled at the 02 quarter? The 7600 quarter? And damn, I should have taken that CL. Look at that. That was a freaking sweet trade. Again, notice on CL, right? See the purple lines? That's this right here. See how we're just sweeping the balance area from yesterday? That's why there's no zone in there. Okay? They're just screwing people left and right who don't have a super defined edge, right, for scalping. Stop, 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 stop. It's just building a huge amount of energy for a move. Okay, that's a 5-minute chart, right? And we've been in this area since 8:30 yesterday morning. Whenever we break, the break should be big. Okay, so just be aware on the contra when you get that. That break will be freaking enormous. That's a lot of energy built for a long freaking time. Hey, Bill, are you there? Can you hear me? Can you tap me on the Slack channel real quick if you're not focused? And if you are focused, don't worry about it. Daniel, did you grab it? Because you called that. You called that 7622. That was beautiful. Good job. You still in? Have you scaled it all? Are you rolling down? What's your downside target? You're going to have a little bit of a challenge here with the anomaly. It's already been tested. You did scale. Good job. So you're going to be, if you're still short, you're going to expect this here because this is a support area, right? And the market is still saying balance so far, right? Oh, I didn't believe I didn't take that CL trade. Shame on me, Simon. It is worth noting, guys, on this with a 5-point stop, if I didn't try to get all fancy on it, right? That sell with the speed bar on it right there is very highly valued. The stop was all the way up here at 91, right? It rolled. So I'm going to have to go through and think that through. I may have just gotten a little gun shy from the last couple of days. Again, I'm still trailing NQ. I'll let them stop me on my trailer at break even. Let's see if I can get them to break it. And hopefully we get a counter to get another setup. And while it's doing all this, I'll be right back. And refill, let's see, water, and this. Be right back. Okay, so on CL, see this push right here? We have the push up. If you're looking for continuation on that bar, that closed right there. So I'll take that. So I took it at 87. I'm putting in a 64 stop. Okay, I know it's quick, guys. I don't have a choice, right? See how we closed underneath here? I was actually late. I should have taken it at 89, right? And I'm looking for continuation back into this zone. Don't know that I'll get it, right? I don't know that I'll get it. I just was looking for it, right? So I took it 87, and where am I going to stop it? 64, just above the trigger right there. So that's 96. I'm actually going to move it to 99, okay? And then I'm looking for the same setup. If I see how, if you're short here, Daniel, you had to know they're going to respond. So we know the key now. Getting underneath this zone, so that's a small picture. Scale 63, 80, and 79 on CL. Sorry, I know it's fast. There's no way you could have followed me on it, right? If you took, I'm down to half. You can either choose to bring the stop to break even or leave it as is and contribute that to the overall stop. Okay. We know we have to break this off the 5 or it ain't going to go anywhere, right? But the market's moving. That means I'm back in business, so that's good. 75.50 based on structure. I agree, and I think if you can get underneath here, Daniel, and backside test and roll, right? And that would actually bring you, so prior day's low, then there's an anomaly at 52.45, right? Where you would look for a counter underneath prior day's low because people are going to respond and lock it back, try to lock it back in the other way. What we need is a shove up over here. So you have two ways of doing it. If you get set up for a short, just like you did over here, you can take it, right? You can take it over here, just like over here, and say, well, it's going to break and roll through, right? Or you wait till you get underneath, backside test for the push back down. And you see over here on ES, shove down, closed above. Again, they're effing with the way that they're setting up the points of control. That's unfortunate, but the push over and over, guys, we can rig that and run it all day long. As long as we have rotations. Now, notice what's different about today than yesterday is the rotations have opened up at 10 a.m., right? And that's pretty exciting, actually. So by the same token, if we get above this guy, push the other way, right? And again, remember what's up in here? What's up in here? Value area that we've been shifting through, right? There's nothing that says the CL has to go down 100 ticks from here. It could if we get underneath. There's a long way to the next support area, right? All we're saying is it's slipping and sliding through here. Let's take advantage of it. Back in a second. So remember, London close is coming up, right? So see Daniel how they're going to respond out of that. Okay, and that's what I was talking about when we were coaching yesterday. The push back up, you got to know that they're going to try and shove that thing back the other way out of those anomalies. Same thing, CL, right into the anomaly. Had that been a speed bar, that would have been great long. So now the shove back above here, if you get a point control back above, this shove down, expect him to take it back the other way. And I am looking for that trade, by the way. Wow. Was there news? That was actually a buy long speed bar right off the low. I didn't get it. Obviously, I wasn't in here. It was a split second. That's a very powerful combination of up and down arrows there, whichever way we break, right? Remember, we're still in the consolidation just at the very bottom on CL, and it usually doesn't break super easy, right? So just keep that in mind. So now it's close above here, push. Really, you just want to get above this or below this will be the next push. So this is technically a long now, speed bar shift up. That's technically a long. I'm not doing anything there yet. London close is always hard on CL. See where they take it. Thank you. They're just ripping that area up. Trading in the middle of this is tough. Battle Royale going on in that CL right there. See all pushing lows of the day. Not quick enough on the longs here. That is such a high odds trade, I'm telling you. Guys, I wish somebody would call it out if you see it. Just type it out and go, hey, buy speed bar, please, if you see it. Have a shift up here. This right now is your bogey to get underneath. Again, you have to get underneath it, stop it, and remember they've been shifting through this whole balance area. So, and we have London close coming up. And you got to respect the anomalies on this. Too bad we didn't have a shove down over here. Double speed bar. London close, 18 minutes. You get behind that buy bar, if that forms, set you up for a roll back down. Again, we're just balancing and chopping, guys. So just realize the market's not rolling down. It's not ready to roll down, right? Up, getting that arrow up right there at the top on NQ. High signal, you get underneath that. And again, they try to trap back into value area low on CL. Once the range expands, these zones won't be sitting on top of each other anymore, right? That's been a big part of the problem. Oh, no one can hear me. Sorry. What I was saying is once the range expands, these zones won't be sitting on top of each other, and we won't sit here and chop back and forth. Like the hard part is the break, but once the break occurs, see ya. 11 minutes till London close. Expect algos. If the music's bothering anyone, let me know. Okay, remember CL gets very choppy between 11 and 12. Just FYI. Or has at least the last 3 weeks. Central Time. You're mostly in balance, right? So far, Daniel, right? So remember the edges are going to be the best places. The hard part is getting the break, right? And that was what I was trying to get across to you in our session, was that the extension makes sense. But that's what I was trying to show you, that the counter rotations were huge, 30, 40 ticks. Yep, I agree. Wouldn't lunchtime be just a nice time to go and chop everyone to death? Close underneath here, buy, shift up, close underneath that, releases it back down. Right, so see how this closed above right here? They tried to push, right? So this is exactly why your stop has to go underneath this bar. See how it survived if you're long, right? And then the chop is what the challenge is here. This should go higher. You had a double shove down and you gotten above it. They backside tested it now and defended. They have, if they want to take it long, they've got every opportunity to take it long now. Like that's a good setup to trap the last of the shorts. Push down into the anomaly, spring, trap back in, shove, right? It would actually be a pretty decent setup. And on that NQ right there, if I close, I will attempt that one more time. I'm probably getting a little long in the tooth on this area here. But if I get it underneath 7607.50, so 7607 and a quarter, stop. Now would be 7614 if it goes. But remember, I'm right in the middle of a freaking zone there, right? So the problem is, as I get further and further, I don't want a full-size stop on that all the way back here, right? So you got to pick your poison, right? At any rate, right now it's not an issue. And again, putting on trades right now in the next 7 minutes, you are messing with the London algos, and they can be pretty vicious sometimes. So I'll hold off till after London and then see where we are. Try again, pretty powerful right there either way, once it closes above or below. I'm going to keep flashing these pictures of what we're doing on a 5. We're consolidating at the lows. on CL. Okay. We're consolidating at the low. Okay. And that traps a lot of shorts if we don't break. Okay. Also springs below and traps back in, traps a lot of shorts as everyone thinks we're way overextended, including me. Right. And Q. We're balanced. We haven't broken prior day's low. Why? Keep in touch with where you are in the overall picture. ES. Gap down, balance, chop. Most traders get killed in this, right? It's just doing nothing in an 8-point range. Okay, very hard on ES when it's just doing this. Every little 2-point stop gets stopped in that. Higher highs and higher lows on a 5 on NQ and on ES. If we go a little bit further, we could say potential for wedge, maybe. Get that broken for a release. No wedge there. That's just yuck. Above that sell, again, they're trying to shove down hard here. If they fail, short squeeze up. ES is closed underneath that last buy. Okay. But again, what they've met with, look at the area in prior day's low. It's just, yeah, what is that? Is that prior day's low? It is. There you go. Long way to gap fill, too. All the way back up there at 28.98. Well, not so long normally, but today it is. Normally you can do that in 5 minutes. So we're entering the last, after 11 o'clock. I'm telling you, the chop has been vicious on CL. That technically triggered short underneath here, but I'll just let the London thing go and then decide. See how I got above that last sell bar right there? Should push. I'm not going to flip on it. Again, I'll give it till a couple minutes after London closes. And we're just playing ping pong on these two anomalies. Here, just to be the picture clearer, 5 minutes, ping pong. Narrow and narrow, it's waiting for a break, right? Break could be pretty good out of that. And obviously, if you had to guess based on the last 3 months, you would guess that break's going to come to the upside, right? I think every day trader on the face of the earth would like it to be on the downside. Damn, maybe I should have taken that. And see how that all started right here? Shove down, closed above, right? And your stop would go right about there, right? So see how you never got behind another indication to. So now here's the other side of this. See this all the way across the line? All these are in the same area. Get underneath it. Sets up a break of that zone underneath, right? Anyways, it's not here nor there. So on this NQ this time, if it closes underneath here, right, I will take that. Again, stop will go about a point above the top of that bar. The stop would go approximately 1 or 2 points above here, which puts me in danger of just having to come back and tag the anomaly and stop me. But I'm not going to take a 10-point stop in the middle of this. So either I choose not to trade it, right, and wait for a stretch up or stretch down, or I trade it with a tight stop. So what I'm saying is because of the location, it's about a 6 or 5. Again, we're in between yesterday's value area high and value area low, and the whole area has been swept. Logic is if we don't get back below value area low, 64.40 is up next on CL. That was the entry right there. I just didn't take it. It was right on London close. Not my flavor. And see how sometimes you just have to be quick about it. I mean, that gave you this close, right? It gave you 5 points, right? You just had to recognize where you were on this. Speed bar down, right? See if it turns into an anomaly. There's no signal, and that's 3 up as well, which concludes with this bar right here. So a lot of triggers all in one place. Sell speed bar. I will take that. They'll give me a backside test on this with a 5-point stop. 28.8650. The risk of my own health. Where's my ES dome? We'll try this one more time. Limit 86.50. No fill. It fell away. I have a limit to sell 76.0475. Filled. Stop. No fill on ES. Stop on NQ. 13 quarter, just under 10 points. Or a reversal signal. Again, we have a challenge here because of where we're at, right? I may pay for that decision. I knew that could happen. Son of a gun. I thought ES wanted that we would get Enki to follow. I may get tagged on this, guys. $13 quarters my stop. I'm not moving it. Now if we get underneath this, it's good to see the shoves up. I just entered in a chop area. Damn. But I'm still good with the trade. The stop's the proper stop. Unfortunately, it's set up. It would have been better if it just closed right there. So that kind of caused me a little bit of grief. I took one too many trades in in between those two anomalies. It's hard to keep your focus off those setups and where we are in the bigger picture. And that's what's going to cost me on this one if I get stopped. So I'll wait till we're outside of this area now. It's been overly auctioned. And obviously, it's a relatively small stop if you just want to close it out, but it's still a valid trade. So I'm just going to let it go until it stops, one of the two. Did not look at that 5-minute chart. Hmm. Now I need a little bit of love from the market. Gets above that sell bar, it's probably gone. Your stop is any close above this now, but it's probably going to be the 13 quarter. That would be a long if it gets above this, just FYI. Again, in the chop zone between those two. I won't take another trade in here. Just FYI, I'll wait till it clears out. Stop or not stop. And same on ES, too much, right? Let it go to someplace new. Okay, so everyone's clear. I will not take another trade in this area. I'll wait till it clears out. Right? That was stupid on my part to trade in between here. I got overly focused on the tiny bars. I'm not taking any more trades in this area. Win or lose, however this trade works out, I'll wait till we're above, or I'll wait till we're below, long or short. Okay, made a mistake. I had no short signal up here. It just exhausted back inside right value area. Again, it's a hard area to trade in. And you can obviously undo that poor decision I made if you followed me on that, which again, make sure it's your trade if you're following me, right? But you can either choose to minimize it. You didn't want to trade inside a chop area. You can cover flat, or you can go, I took the trade, which is what I'm doing. I'm either taking the profit or I'm taking the stop, one of the two, which I always choose to do. I understand that's been difficult the last couple of weeks, but over the last year since I've been doing that, it's paid massive freaking returns, and I'll wait on it. Right? I have no doubt that I'll get another setup somewhere through the course of the day. So those are your three choices. You decide what's best for yourself in terms of that. Buy potential shift up again. The bottom of the value area. Price is it's just chopping through here, guys, on CL, and we're heading into the 11 o'clock hour. It gets very choppy in here, right? So I'd want to do nothing. Usually, if it's going to make its 130 move, it'll set up after 12 o'clock. Has been my experience. Not always, but worth waiting for usually. Again, if we close above this sell, right, which will also close us above this shift down, I'd expect to push up, right? And it's in the middle, which I'm not taking because I'm still trapped between the two anomalies, right? One trading error is enough in a day. On the other hand, you close underneath this buy, right? And you end up with a long liquidation. Here comes my stop into New York lunch. Son of a gun. That's all right. And there's a shift up. Buy, shift up, close underneath. I will take that. I'm good on that on CL. Right? Stop would go right on top of this bar if it forms. And it's trapped back in over here. Right? So I need to close underneath this to trigger that. They still haven't stopped me on NQ though. Who would be shocked at this point? Man, I'm telling you, whatever the Fed did, the lack of volatility truly enormously sucks. There's buy, shift up. Again, if we were to key location, that would be a great long. You can see they're pushing repeatedly out of this area. They've tried to sell. You got behind that sell. They pushed, came back in. They've attempted to trap. Just no one has any conviction one way or the other, right? That's what's going on here. I'm still not stopped. Almost, but not stopped. Everyone doing okay in the room? Daniel, what you're missing is we're in balance and chop, and so you're trying to force a trade to work where there's no energy to the downside. And that's the part you're missing. So it could go if you have the patience of a saint, right? It could go, right? But you're just bucking 3 weeks worth of no sell pressure. And every afternoon, almost every afternoon, we've gone into grind up, right? That's what you're missing. So you can't make the market do, obviously, you know this, right? Neither one of us can make the market do what it does not want to do. And every day, starting around this time, we have gone into slow grind up. The afternoons have sucked, right? So no matter what the outcome is of this trade for me, yeah, I already know what I'm doing. By the way, this will trigger now above this sell if this bar prints positive, which will stop me as well. And that will do me. So stopped. And I'm done. Nothing in New York lunch. Too hard, too much, too difficult. No thanks. I'll come back this afternoon and see if anything's going on. But I was lucky to be profitable given the range, lack thereof. Right. So I don't want to sit there and torture myself now. No, I'm not flipping it long into an anomaly. So sorry, it was a trading error, guys. I let them snag me. So my best suggestion is don't trade it until it makes a move. I forgot where I was relative to time of New York launch. That was stupid. Again, the reason I don't move my stops is because it kills me when the market's good. Okay. Just so everyone's clear. And yes, I knew where that stop was. Right, they don't get behind the anomaly, could still end up working out beautifully. So, and at one point, one day, right, we are going to break, and it's going to be the mother of all breaks, and it's going to go straight down 100 points. There'll be a next day. Well, they didn't push it through there, but maybe they're just waiting until right in front of New York lunch. Shift down, shift down. If that prints, close above. See that? Shift down, shift down. If that prints, close above. Go. If, right? That's a big if. Fractal shift down on ES. On NQ, that's a good setup, usually if it'll hold underneath. And you have 6 minutes until New York lunch, and you got to figure they're going to try and, someone's going to try and buy it. It's worked every day. Now I need a And there's just no strong ticks on the NYSE. When I say none, I mean none. It's been just flat. Look at that. There's plus 1,000, minus 1,000. As a matter of fact, the heaviest ticks have been on the downside. That's a change too. Two minutes till. We are stuck. Crap. Stuck. Again, getting underneath this bot. I mean, you can just see everyone's duking it out here. I'd stay out of it. And I am. I'm definitely going to lunch here in a minute. And then we'll see what they do. The afternoon has sucked. And I mean all the way through until 2 o'clock and even further. One minute till New York lunch. I imagine they're going to try and send a buy program because that's what we do at New York lunch. We buy. And that's if you're short, 76.0650 is what you got to break, and then that anomaly below. That's a hard order in this environment over New York lunch. Buy shift up on CL often works to the upside, just FYI. And we're at New York lunch. I would expect someone to try to sell a buy program here soon. And closing underneath that is the first step you need to push. This area has been a trap not once but twice. So if you're opening a position here, you are in this crap zone without a trend line break yet and an anomaly right below. Pick your poison carefully. And there comes our buy program. Thank goodness. I actually thought they were going to let it go down for a minute. Again, I'm not trading CL till after 12 o'clock again, and then it's going to be a perfect setup. It's hard when there's no range. I mean, it's incredible. This whole range here for the last hour has been 10 points on ES and on NQ. 10 points on ES, it's been 4. Talk about trade the edges. So now should come well, of course we're going to drive it up and go higher. What else would we do? Oh, that's the line in the sand. Again, within the balance of chop. Actually, the line in the sand this way too. Speed bar, shift up. And it's no shock that there's nothing to do. Get underneath this, shift up, and you're bearish on CL for some reason. That's your entry. And guys on YouTube, I'm going to cut off in just a minute. I'll reopen it again in the afternoon if I'm trading to record it. But I got no decision to make when we're getting tighter and tighter. We're getting ready to break one direction or another. I can't tell which one, although obviously the no duh guess is higher, right? I'd like to say lower, but that's been so wrong for so many weeks in a row. I don't dare say it. So one trading error, everything else worked out pretty damn good. And then particularly on the ES, I'd like to point out sell, speed bar, 5-point stop worked, sell, speed bar worked, buy, speed bar, paid. I got to get on top of these. Buy, speed bar, paid, buy, speed bar, paid. That's what I'm looking for this afternoon in ES. And I'm just going to take the 5-point stop one way or the other, which is fine with me. I don't have a problem with it. I just didn't do a very good job executing that today. So improvements to come. And then this range just below me sucks. Sorry, excuse my language, but that sucks. I mean, the lack of volatility, it might as well be August. And here comes the buying. When you have no downside pressure, it should go up. There's no sell pressure. We've trapped everybody who wants to short or sell has been trapped. It should just be pop. I'm back to flat on the day or up or whatever they're going to do with it. And there you go. Into the anomaly. And count me as gone to lunch, guys. So, guys on YouTube, thanks for joining. I'll probably start this up later today. If you have any questions, just email me. It's on the description of the video, right? But it's tradeandperform@gmail.com with an N in the middle. And my name is Simon. Trade smart. Don't get smoked. That is hard. It's hard to day trade when this is your range. So the morning offered some opportunity, but it's dead again. And every afternoon has been the freaking same. So I don't intend to rack my emotions or my brains trying to make that work for sure. And I will take a look, and if it rolls, I'll be back.